Chosen one, pause for a moment and truly hear me. What you're about to receive is not random information. It is divine revelation arriving at the precise moment you need it most. There are no coincidences in the spiritual realm, only divine appointments. And this moment, right now, as you listen to these words, is one such appointment. The universe has orchestrated this encounter between your seeking soul and this message because you are ready to receive a truth that will forever change how you navigate your spiritual journey. I speak to you today not just as a guide, but as a fellow traveler who has walked this sacred path before you. I felt the weight of being different, carried the burden of seeing what others cannot see, and experienced the profound loneliness that can come with being chosen. But I've also discovered the indescribable joy of recognizing another soul who carries the same divine fingerprint, another chosen one walking this earth. This recognition is not merely about finding like-minded individuals. It goes far deeper than shared interests or compatible personalities. When one chosen one recognizes another, something profound happens in the spiritual atmosphere around them. It's as if two flames suddenly merge, creating a light so bright that the darkness trembles. Before we delve into the 5 sacred steps of recognition, I want you to do something that might seem small but carries tremendous spiritual significance. If you can already feel that this message was meant specifically for you, if something inside you is resonating with these words like a tuning fork vibrating to its perfect frequency, type 777 in the comments below. That number represents divine completion and spiritual awakening. By typing it, you're acknowledging to yourself and to the universe that you are awake, aware, and ready to receive this sacred knowledge. It's a declaration that your spirit is aligned with this moment of revelation. And if you haven't yet joined our sacred community, now is the time. Subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. This isn't about growing numbers. It's about gathering the chosen ones together, creating a sanctuary of understanding in a world that often fails to see your light. Now take a deep breath, center your spirit. What I'm about to share with you has been guarded knowledge for generations, passed only between those who carry the mark of divine selection. The 5 steps I will reveal are not theory or speculation. They are spiritual truths refined through centuries of observation and experience. These steps will empower you to recognize other chosen ones who cross your path. Some may already be in your life unrecognized until now. Others are yet to appear, divinely appointed to walk alongside you during crucial moments of your journey. Remember, as we proceed, this recognition is not about ego or exclusivity. It is about divine purpose. When chosen ones find each other, their individual missions often align in ways that create powerful ripple effects throughout both the physical and spiritual realms. There is a reason why the darkest forces work tirelessly to keep chosen ones isolated and unaware of each other. That isolation ends today. Let us begin this sacred journey of recognition together. Energy resonance. The first and perhaps most fundamental way to recognize another chosen one is through what I call energy resonance. This goes beyond the surface-level interactions that fill our daily lives. It's a soul-deep recognition that occurs often before a single word is exchanged. You see, chosen one, you carry within you a unique energetic signature. This isn't something you acquired. It's something you were born with. It's woven into the very fabric of your soul, placed there by divine hands before you took your first breath in this world. This energy cannot be hidden, cannot be diminished, and cannot be falsified. It simply is. When you encounter another chosen one, something remarkable happens in the energetic field between you. There's an immediate sense of recognition, a feeling that your soul has encountered something both new and anciently familiar. Some describe it as a subtle vibration, others as a sudden warmth, and still others as a momentary shift in their perception of reality itself. This resonance occurs because chosen ones operate at a different frequency than most people walking this earth. Your energy has been refined through the spiritual trials you've endured, the challenges you've overcome, and the inner work you've done, often without even realizing you were doing it. Think back to moments in your life when you've met someone and felt an instant, inexplicable connection. Perhaps you couldn't articulate why, but something about their presence felt significant. There was a depth to the encounter that transcended ordinary meeting. Your spirit recognized their spirit before your mind could even process what was happening. These moments aren't random. They aren't imaginary. They are sacred recognitions occurring at the level of energy, the most honest level of interaction possible between two beings. Many chosen ones report physical sensations during these encounters. Goosebumps appearing suddenly, a pleasant warmth spreading through their chest, or even a slight electrical sensation at the crown of their head. Your body, being the temple of your spirit, responds physically to this spiritual recognition. Now, it's important to understand that this energy resonance doesn't always feel comfortable. Sometimes it can be intensely challenging, especially if one or both chosen ones are carrying unhealed wounds or are not yet fully awakened to their purpose. The intensity of your combined energies can bring suppressed truths to the surface, which can feel overwhelming. This is why some chosen ones initially avoid each other after that first meeting. The resonance can be so powerful, so revealing, that it triggers an unconscious flight response. If you've ever met someone and felt an inexplicable urge to both move toward them and away from them simultaneously, you may have encountered another chosen one. Pay attention to these energetic reactions. They are your spirit's way of communicating what your conscious mind may not yet be ready to understand. Your energy field is like a spiritual antenna, constantly scanning your environment for frequencies that match your own. I want you to reflect on this now. Have you experienced these moments of inexplicable recognition? Have you felt your energy shift dramatically in the presence of certain individuals? If you have, type 111 in the comments below. This number sequence represents alignment and spiritual awakening, and by sharing it, you're confirming that your spiritual antenna is active and aware. Your acknowledgement isn't just for me. It's a signal to other chosen ones watching this message that they are not alone in their experiences. It creates a web of recognition that extends beyond this digital space into the collective consciousness of all chosen ones. Now, let's move deeper into understanding how this energy resonance manifests in practical, everyday encounters. Recognizing energy resonance in daily life. Let me share something deeply personal with you, chosen one. Years ago, before I fully understood my own path, I walked into a bookstore on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I was browsing aimlessly, not searching for anything in particular, when a woman reached for the same book I was about to pick up. The moment our energies intersected, everything around us seemed to slow down. The ambient noise of the store faded away. There was a palpable shift in the air between us, as if our energy fields were communicating in a language beyond words. We both pulled back slightly, startled by the intensity of the connection. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. We simply looked at each other with a mutual recognition that transcended ordinary meeting. When we finally did speak, our conversation flowed as if we were continuing a dialogue that had been temporarily paused rather than meeting for the first time. This woman later became one of my most important spiritual allies. Our paths had crossed at a crucial moment in both our journeys, and the work we accomplished together could only have been done by two chosen ones operating in harmony. This is how energy resonance often manifests in daily life. Unexpected encounters that feel predestined, charged with meaning beyond what is immediately apparent. As you move through your daily life, chosen one, practice becoming more aware of these energetic exchanges. Notice when the quality of an interaction feels different, when time seems to shift, when your entire being seems to come to attention in the presence of another. These are not imaginary experiences. They are your highly refined energy system recognizing another system that vibrates at a compatible frequency. The veil between you and another chosen one is thinnest at the level of energy. It is here, in this subtle realm of vibration and resonance, that the most honest recognition occurs. Now, let us move to the second step of recognition, which builds upon this foundation of energetic awareness but takes us deeper into the realm of spiritual sight. The eyes reveal the soul. The second sacred step in recognizing another chosen one lies in a truth known to spiritual seekers throughout the ages. The eyes truly are the windows to the soul. When you look into the eyes of another chosen one, you will see something distinctive, something that sets them apart from others. This isn't about eye color or physical characteristics. though chosen ones often do have striking eyes. What I'm referring to is the quality of presence that emanates from their gaze. The eyes of a chosen one hold a depth that can be unsettling to those not prepared to see it. There's an ancient quality there, a knowing that extends beyond this lifetime. When you look into these eyes, you may feel as if you're being truly seen, perhaps for the first time. It's as if their gaze bypasses all your carefully constructed layers and connects directly with your essence. This experience can be both profoundly comforting and deeply disquieting. Comforting because there is immense relief in being truly seen and accepted for who you are at soul level. Disquieting because this level of recognition often brings to the surface aspects of yourself you may not be fully ready to acknowledge. Chosen ones develop this penetrating gaze not by intention but as a natural consequence of their spiritual journey. Having faced their own inner darkness, having questioned reality at its foundations, having glimpsed beyond the veil that separates dimensions. These experiences change how they see the world and how their soul expresses itself through their eyes. You may notice that when you meet the gaze of another chosen one, time seems to slow or even momentarily stop. There's a suspension of ordinary reality, a sacred pause in which soul recognizes soul. Some describe it as a flash of remembrance, though what exactly is being remembered remains just beyond the reach of conscious understanding. In practical terms, how does this manifest? You might be in conversation with someone, perhaps even someone you've known for years, when suddenly, during a moment of authentic exchange, you look into their eyes and see something you've never noticed before. There's a shift in perception, a deepening of awareness, and you think to yourself, who are you really? This moment of recognition through the eyes often happens during periods of vulnerability or truth-telling. When the social masks temporarily fall away, when someone speaks from their heart rather than their social conditioning, their eyes reveal their true nature. I've personally witnessed this in unexpected settings, during business meetings when someone suddenly speaks a deeper truth, in casual conversations that unexpectedly turn profound, or in moments of crisis when ordinary concerns fall away and only what's essential remains. The eyes of a chosen one often have a quality of being simultaneously present in the moment and yet seeing beyond it. They may appear to be looking at something distant even while focused on you, or they might have a remarkable ability to maintain eye contact in a way that feels nourishing rather than invasive. Many chosen ones report that they've been told throughout their lives that their gaze is too intense, or that they look right through people. What others perceive as intensity is simply the natural light of an awakened or awakening soul, unfiltered by the usual social dimming that most people unconsciously maintain. If you've been told your gaze is too strong, too deep, or too penetrating, embrace this as a sign of your authentic nature as a chosen one. And when you encounter that same quality in another, recognize it as the second confirmation that you have met a fellow traveler on this sacred path. Let's continue our journey deeper into the third sign that reveals another chosen one crossing your path: synchronistic encounters. The third step in recognizing another chosen one involves understanding the language of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that defy ordinary explanation. When two chosen ones are destined to meet, the universe often arranges their encounter through a series of synchronistic events that seem almost orchestrated. These aren't mere coincidences. They are the physical manifestation of spiritual alignment. You see, chosen one, you exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions. While your conscious awareness is primarily focused in this physical reality, your higher self operates beyond the constraints of linear time and three-dimensional space. When another chosen one whose path is meant to intersect with yours comes into proximity, both of your higher selves begin orchestrating circumstances to bring about this divine appointment. This orchestration manifests as synchronicity, events so perfectly timed, so mathematically improbable, that they cannot be dismissed as random chance. Perhaps you keep encountering the same person in different locations. Maybe you discover you've both been drawn to the same obscure book or spiritual teaching. Or perhaps you find yourselves independently drawn to the same location at the same time, despite having no logical reason to be there. I remember meeting a fellow chosen one through what appeared to be a series of errors. My flight was delayed, causing me to miss my connection. The next available flight was full, but a last-minute cancellation opened a seat. I found myself sitting next to a woman who had also experienced a series of unusual circumstances leading her to that exact seat at that exact time. As we began to talk, we discovered layers of interconnection that defied logical explanation. We had been studying the same ancient texts, asking the same uncommon spiritual questions, and had even dreamed similar dreams during the previous night, all without having ever met before. This wasn't chance. It was divine choreography, our higher selves working in concert with universal intelligence to create an opportunity for recognition and connection. These synchronistic encounters often have a numinous quality to them, a sense that something significant is unfolding, that the moment carries meaning beyond what is immediately apparent. You might feel a flutter of excitement or a sudden calm certainty that this meeting matters. Pay attention to these feelings. Your intuition is the voice of your higher self, nudging you toward recognition of the divine appointment taking place. Another form of synchronicity occurs through shared symbols or numbers. Two chosen ones often find they're drawn to the same symbolic representations or notice the same number sequences repeatedly. This shared symbolic language creates another layer of confirmation that your connection exists beyond the physical realm. If you've experienced these mysterious synchronicities leading to a significant encounter, I invite you to share your experience. Type 555 in the comments below, a number sequence representing significant life changes and divine guidance. Your sharing creates a ripple effect, affirming for others that their similar experiences are valid and meaningful. When synchronicity brings you into the orbit of another chosen one, there is often a mutual recognition of the perfection of the timing. You both sense that this meeting couldn't have occurred any earlier or later, that you have both arrived at precisely the right moment, having completed the necessary preparation to recognize each other. This leads us naturally to our fourth step of recognition, one that requires us to move beyond external signs into the realm of intuitive knowing. Intuitive recognition. We now arrive at perhaps the most profound yet challenging step in recognizing another chosen one, intuitive knowing. This goes beyond energy resonance, beyond what you see in their eyes, beyond even the synchronicities that brought you together. This is about trusting the quiet voice of your soul when it whispers, "This one." Intuitive recognition is an inner knowing so clear, so certain, that it requires no external validation. It's a soul-level recognition that transcends all doubt, all logical questioning, all need for proof. This intuitive knowing often manifests as a sudden clarity, a moment when something within you simply settles into certainty. There's no internal debate, no weighing of evidence, just a quiet, unshakable knowing. For many chosen ones, this intuitive recognition comes as a physical sensation first, a response in the body that precedes mental understanding. You might feel a sudden expansion in your chest, a warmth spreading through your solar plexus, or a tingling at the crown of your head. Your body, which exists at the intersection of physical and spiritual realms, often recognizes truth before your mind can articulate it. This bodily knowing is ancient wisdom, the same instinctive recognition that guided your ancestors through pivotal moments of discernment. In our modern world, we've been conditioned to distrust these physical responses, to require logical evidence before accepting what our bodies immediately know. But as a chosen one, part of your awakening involves reclaiming this embodied wisdom. When you intuitively recognize another chosen one, you might experience a sense of remembering rather than discovering, as if you're encountering someone you've always known but had temporarily forgotten. This isn't necessarily about past lives, though that may be part of your connection. It's about the recognition that exists beyond time, in the eternal present where all souls are connected. This intuitive recognition often comes with a sense of relief or homecoming. There's a relaxation that occurs when your soul encounters another who sees and understands your essence without explanation. The exhausting effort of translating your experiences for others who don't share your perception suddenly becomes unnecessary. I've experienced this intuitive recognition in the most unlikely circumstances. Once, during a routine business conference, I found myself seated across from a man whose professional background couldn't have been more different from my spiritual work. Yet the moment our conversation began, there was an unspoken recognition between us. Nothing about our external circumstances suggested a spiritual connection. But as we spoke about seemingly ordinary matters, there was an underlying current of mutual recognition, a shared understanding that we were both seeing beyond the apparent reality of the situation. Later, in a more private setting, we acknowledged what we had both intuitively known from the first moments of our meeting. We were both chosen ones, walking different external paths but sharing the same internal journey. This intuitive recognition can't be forced or manufactured. It emerges naturally when you're centered in your authentic self, when you're moving through the world from a place of spiritual alignment rather than ego-driven seeking. To cultivate this intuitive recognition, practice trusting the subtle responses of your being. Notice when your body signals recognition before your mind has processed the encounter. Pay attention to the quality of ease or flow that emerges in conversation with another chosen one, how understanding seems to transmit between you with minimal need for explanation. Most importantly, honor these intuitive recognitions when they occur. In a world that values external evidence and logical proof, it takes courage to stand firmly in what you know intuitively. But this intuitive knowing is one of your greatest gifts as a chosen one. It's how you navigate both the seen and unseen dimensions of reality. As we move toward our fifth and final step of recognition, I invite you to reflect on moments when you've experienced this intuitive knowing about another soul. Have you felt that unshakable certainty, that soul-level recognition? If you have, type 333 in the comments below, a number sequence representing alignment with your highest truth and the presence of ascended masters guiding your path. Now, let us complete our journey with the fifth step, one that confirms beyond all doubt that you have encountered another chosen one on your path. Resonance of purpose. We arrive now at the fifth and perhaps most confirming sign that you've encountered another chosen one, a profound resonance of purpose. This resonance goes beyond shared interests or common goals. It's a recognition that your spiritual missions, though perhaps different in their external expression, are harmonically aligned at their essence. When two chosen ones recognize this alignment of purpose, there's an unmistakable sense that your meeting has significance beyond personal connection, that it serves a greater design. You see, chosen one, you didn't simply choose your spiritual path, you were chosen for it. Before you entered this physical dimension, your soul agreed to carry a specific frequency, to embody a particular aspect of divine consciousness, to fulfill a unique role in the great unfolding of cosmic evolution. When you meet another chosen one whose purpose resonates with yours, there's often an immediate acceleration of both your paths. Ideas flow more freely. Insights arrive with greater clarity. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable suddenly reveal pathways through them. It's as if your combined frequencies create a harmonic that opens doors neither of you could open alone. This resonance of purpose often reveals itself through conversation that rapidly moves to a depth and breadth uncommon in ordinary interaction. You may find yourselves discussing the nature of reality, the structure of consciousness, or the purpose of existence with a shared vocabulary and understanding that would seem strange or even incomprehensible to others. More telling still is the natural emergence of collaborative vision, ideas for creation or service that neither of you had fully formulated alone but that emerge with crystal clarity when your energies combine. These collaborative visions often have a distinct quality of serving something greater than either individual's ambition or desire for achievement. I've experienced this phenomenon repeatedly throughout my journey. In one particularly powerful instance, I met another chosen one at a time when both of us were feeling somewhat directionless, despite being actively engaged in our individual spiritual practices. Within hours of our meeting, we found ourselves mapping out a project that incorporated elements from both our paths but transcended what either of us had imagined possible. What was most remarkable about this encounter wasn't just the creative synergy. It was the palpable sense that we were being guided to combine our energies for a purpose larger than ourselves. The project that emerged from that meeting went on to touch thousands of lives in ways neither of us could have orchestrated through individual effort. This experience exemplifies the resonance of purpose that occurs when chosen ones recognize each other. A resonance that amplifies your individual missions while simultaneously revealing new dimensions of service that become possible only through connection. It's important to understand that this resonance doesn't mean your external paths will look identical. One chosen one might express their purpose through artistic creation, another through healing work, another through teaching or writing, and yet another through business or technology. The external forms may differ greatly, but the underlying frequencies, the core vibrations of your purposes, complement and enhance each other. Sometimes this resonance of purpose reveals itself immediately. Other times, it unfolds gradually as your connection deepens. What remains consistent is the sense that your meeting serves something beyond personal friendship or mutual benefit, that it contributes to a greater tapestry of awakening consciousness. When you experience this resonance of purpose with another, there's often a natural reverence that emerges between you, a mutual recognition of the divine spark that animates both your journeys. This reverence isn't about placing each other on pedestals or falling into guru-disciple dynamics. Rather, it's about honoring the sacred commitment you each made before entering this lifetime, the commitment to serve as vessels for specific aspects of divine expression. This mutual reverence creates a container of safety and trust that allows both of you to be vulnerable about your doubts, your struggles, and your moments of forgetting your own divinity. Paradoxically, this shared vulnerability strengthens rather than diminishes your connection, because it emerges from authentic truth rather than spiritual posturing. As we complete our exploration of these 5 steps of recognition, I want to emphasize that they rarely occur in isolation. More commonly, you'll experience several or all of these signs simultaneously or in rapid succession, creating a multilayered confirmation that transcends coincidence or wishful thinking. Integration and practical application. Now that we've explored the 5 sacred steps to recognizing another chosen one, let's discuss how to integrate this knowledge into your daily life and spiritual practice. First, understand that this recognition isn't about creating separation or exclusivity. The designation of chosen one isn't about spiritual superiority. It's about spiritual responsibility. You weren't chosen because you're better than others. You were chosen because you agreed to carry a specific frequency of consciousness into this world, to serve as a bridge between dimensions, to hold space for the evolution of collective awareness. This recognition of other chosen ones serves a practical purpose in your journey. When you connect with others who share your level of spiritual perception and commitment, you create a field of resonance that strengthens all of you. In the presence of this shared field, your gifts can flourish, your understanding can deepen, and your service can expand. In practical terms, how do you nurture these connections once recognition has occurred? First, honor the timing of the revelation. Sometimes full recognition happens immediately. Other times, it unfolds gradually as both of you become ready to acknowledge the depth of your connection. Don't rush this process or force recognition where resistance exists. Divine timing orchestrates these meetings perfectly, including the timing of full mutual acknowledgement. Second, create sacred space for your connection to develop. This might be literal space, regular meetings in peaceful environments conducive to deep exchange. It might also be figurative space, agreements about confidentiality and respect that allow you both to share your authentic experiences without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. Third, be vigilant about the purity of your connection. When chosen ones recognize each other, there's a potential for extraordinary co-creation and service. However, this potential can be diminished if ego needs, unhealed wounds, or external agendas dominate the relationship. Maintain a practice of self-reflection to ensure you're engaging from your highest self rather than from patterns of lack or need. Fourth, understand that recognition doesn't guarantee permanent connection. Sometimes chosen ones come together for a specific purpose or period of time, fulfilling a divine appointment before their paths diverge again. Honor these natural cycles of connection and separation, trusting that the seeds planted during your time together will continue to grow even after physical proximity ends. Finally, remember that as your consciousness expands, your capacity for recognition deepens. What might have gone unnoticed earlier in your journey becomes unmistakable as your spiritual senses awaken more fully. Be open to recognizing chosen ones in unexpected places, in people whose external appearances or life circumstances might not match your preconceptions about spiritual advancement. I want to address something important here. The concept of chosen ones has sometimes been misappropriated to create hierarchical spiritual systems or to justify separation between awakened and unawakened individuals. This was never the original intention of this sacred knowledge. To be chosen means to be of service, not to be elevated above others. The recognition I've shared with you today is meant to facilitate connection and collaboration in service to the whole, not to foster spiritual elitism or separation. As you move forward with this knowledge, carry it with humility and reverence. Use it to create bridges rather than barriers. Remember that we are all ultimately expressions of the same divine consciousness, exploring different facets of the same infinite being. If you found value in this teaching today, if these 5 steps have illuminated experiences you've had but perhaps couldn't fully articulate, I invite you to type 1212 in the comments below. This powerful number sequence represents spiritual awakening and divine support for your mission on Earth. And if you haven't yet joined our community of seekers, now is the perfect time. Subscribe to this channel and activate notifications so you'll receive each new teaching as it's released. Together, we're creating a sanctuary of understanding, a gathering place for chosen ones to recognize each other and strengthen their collective light. As we draw this sacred teaching to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought, chosen one. The recognition of another who shares your divine purpose is one of the greatest gifts you can receive on this spiritual journey. In a world that often feels designed to make you doubt your perceptions, question your knowing, and dim your light, these divine connections serve as mirrors reflecting your true nature back to you. When you look into the eyes of another chosen one and see your own light reflected there, it becomes harder to forget who you truly are. When your energy field merges with theirs in a dance of resonant frequencies, it becomes easier to maintain your unique vibration in a world of discordant energies. When synchronicity brings you together in perfect divine timing, it becomes impossible to dismiss the intelligent design underlying all of existence. These connections remind you that you are never truly alone, even in your most unique perceptions and experiences. Somewhere on this planet, others are seeing what you see, feeling what you feel, knowing what you know, even if they express it through different words or traditions. I encourage you to move through your life with eyes wide open, spiritual senses attuned, and heart receptive to these divine appointments. They are arriving not by chance but by sacred design, orchestrated by a wisdom far beyond our limited human understanding. And remember this: sometimes you will be the one who is recognized before you recognize yourself. Sometimes another chosen one will see in you what you have not yet fully acknowledged. The divine spark, the ancient wisdom, the unique purpose you carry. Be open to being seen in your full spiritual magnificence, even in moments when you may have temporarily forgotten it. This recognition between chosen ones is not just a personal blessing. It is part of a greater awakening occurring on our planet right now. As chosen ones recognize each other, as they combine their frequencies and align their purposes, they create nodes of heightened consciousness that serve the evolution of all life on Earth. You are part of this grand design. Your recognition of another chosen one contributes to the web of awakened consciousness being woven across the planet in this pivotal time. Go forward with confidence, with clarity, and with the deep knowing that you walk this path in good company. The 5 steps I've shared with you today are keys that unlock doors of perception and connection. Use them wisely, use them humbly, and use them in service to the greater good. Until we meet again, chosen one, may your path be illuminated, may your purpose be clear, and may your heart remain open to the divine appointments awaiting you. Remember, you were chosen not by accident but by divine design. Honor that choosing by recognizing it in others who share your sacred path. Thank you for joining me in this sacred teaching. Until next time, walk in light, speak your truth, and remember who you truly are.